Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's the Sunday Rant. No cool cars around today. I'm so disappointed. I've been driving around all morning. But that doesn't stop the Sunday Rant from rolling on. Locomation. Heard of that place? They're in Pennsylvania. They're closing. Isn't that awesome? They're closing. What do? Well, they're part of the autonomous trucking brigade. And their idea was this, where you took a truck, one driver drives one semi, the next driver drives another semi, and they all have computers and stuff all over them, and the two trucks talk to each other. They're like, hey, what's up? And so you with me, I'm going with you. And the one guy, the second truck pulls in behind the first truck, right? And the computers take over, and it gets really close, and the second truck does whatever the first truck does. So basically, the first driver's driving both trucks. And because they're so close together, it way improves fuel mileage on both trucks, really, but the second truck especially. And if you don't believe this, there's a good episode of Mythbusters where they show how much of a fuel mileage improvement you get by drafting. Okay, so go check that out on Mythbusters, where they pull really close to a truck and show the increase. Anyhow, and then at some point, if the second truck needs to get off or whatever, I guess the driver can hit a button and that truck backs off from the first truck, and then he can go do whatever. And this could happen across an entire fleet. So if you had a larger fleet of thousands of trucks, two drivers that are going the same direction or whatever can pull in. And the idea also is that the second driver can sleep. They were trying to get it. It never got passed. They're trying to get that second driver so he can be sleeper berth time while he is, going behind the first truck. So you could get a break in, or you could get even a split sleeper, maybe a full sleeper. It depends on how long and all that you are connected together. But that would increase everybody's drive time. There's no reason the two drivers really couldn't split sleeper this and come out smelling like a rose, was the idea. So they would have to change some rules so that you could move around the truck or whatever. But so you get maybe 5 hours, right? And you switch off. So then the second guy pulls out in front. And then the first guy is the guy in the back. And then he gets to go in the sleeper for his 5 hours. You could 5 it all the way across the country. Or wherever you're going. Of course, none of this works yet. It's all theory. And what the head of this Locomation says, well, I'm really sad about this. We had a bunch of smart people. But there are a lot of things to figure out and a lot of the public to convince, including me, that this is a good idea, which I don't think it is. But this is more proof for people that we aren't there yet. We're not even close to being ready to run like this, where one truck's following the other, much less having trucks drive themselves. Here, the truck was going to just follow the first truck. The second truck was just doing whatever the first truck did. So whenever a first truck person hits the brakes, it automatically slows the second truck down, whatever. They change lanes together as one big unit rather than two trucks. And it would improve fuel mileage. And you really got two trucks driven by one person, which is better than they do now. So you're having 253s by one person. Of course, there'd be a huge raise for those drivers, right? Wrong, I'm sure. No one talked about giving that driver a raise considering he's doing more work, but hey, who am I to talk about pay? I mean, hey, let's just pay drivers less, right? That's a good idea. So whenever this kind of stuff comes up, nobody ever gets paid extra except the people developing the technology, not the ones actually doing the work. But hey, that's for another day. Either way, this place is closing because they couldn't get funding. Ford and Volkswagen, of all people, were not partners, right? They were investors or whatever in this, and they're like, we're done with this. We've had enough of you. So they pulled out, and then there's basically no money left to keep the lights on, and the place closes. This is what's going to happen. Eventually, this will shake out, but it's some years away before we get a couple, places that stand up, that have the money to go through this and figure it out. Just remember, if you're driving, you're young or whatever, mark why if you're young. Because if you're 71 and a driver, okay, you're not going to have to worry about automated trucks taking over your job. All right, so you're on the other end of it. But people that are young are worried about it. Well, will there still be a job? Yes. Okay, they can't even figure this out. It's some time away. Look at those pictures of the trucks in Oregon that are stopped on the road. What would an autonomous truck do in that? Just sit there, I guess? What happens when your Tesla runs out of battery juice sitting on the road like that? Your electric truck, okay? So there are a lot of things to figure out yet before your job is going to be taken away by a truck. Okay, the vehicle itself is going to take your job. We are a long way from that yet, and this closure proves it. Okay, so thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with another Trucking Answers.